I think I appreciate this movie a little bit more due to the fact the ending felt realistic. What'd you think about Dragon? Or really is it Return of the Dragon? Let's find out. Chase Liaki here with the Blue Futon reviewing Dragon. What's about pretty simple premise? You have a kid who is just like in the 96th percentile of like very smart, and he wants to marry this girl, but the girl's like, I like bad guys, and he's like, you know what? Nope, I'm gonna be a bad guy now. So when he gets to university, he flunks out. Basically has like 48 credits. He just said, nope, ain't doing it. Goodbye. But now he realizes a couple years in the future, I'm kind of lazy and I kind of want to get somewhere in life. So I'm going to fake some credentials and, fake it. Fake it till you make it. However, the past comes to haunt him and he has to go back to school and get the 48 credits within 3 months. And something horrific happens at the end of this film. So did I like this film? I really did. I won't lie though. The first half of this movie, it was dragging for me. It was a drag. I was like, where are we trying to get with this story? I understand, him being a lazy bum and we're not supposed to really like him. There is a character arc about him and his ex-girlfriend, which we need to talk about how that was a huge flaw in this movie. But anyway, like I said, the first half, you're just like, what are we trying to get at? And finally, a cigarette butt out of a car window totally changes the story to a different direction from Dragon to Return of the Dragon. Because the second half of the movie is him going back to college and trying to figure out his way. And so I think the acting, the overall scenario of this movie is a good one. Yes, some people might not like it, and it might not resonate with other audiences about college degrees. And, if you have a degree and you don't have a degree, where are you at in the spectrum of society? And if you have that degree and you worked your ass off, should people that don't have a degree bump you, even though they might be smarter or things like that? And so there's a little bit of dilemma in that movie where, you say cultures, where, some people, college is absolutely needed for the family and the prestigeness of it. And some people are just like, no, I'll be a plumber, community college, good to go. So you have that interesting dynamic of you look at America, India, and other countries and how that spectrum and how that stigma truly is. So as you can tell, I liked the second half of the movie a lot better. The pacing was a lot better. You had more fun with it. And the overall ending of this movie kind of went left field, but in a very good left field. Because usually movies that go left field, you're just like, why do we do that? But here, it makes perfect sense of taking your consequences for your actions and what real life will be. Because I hate to say it, with a lot of other Indian movies I've seen this year, it's always the guy gets the girl, or there's always a perfect happy sappy ending. Is this a perfect happy sappy ending? No. Is it a good ending? Yes, but it's not the ending I expected. I expected forgiveness. I expected, problems to go away. That didn't occur in this movie. And that really was like, oh, we're actually showing positive consequences. And even though they're not positive consequences, but you know what I get at, where it's like, someone made a mistake. You got to pay for your dues. And I really like that. What I didn't like, let's circle back to the relationship between the ex and the main character. Why is she apologizing? He was a bum for 2 years. He was mooching off her money, etc., 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 doing nothing with his life. But then when she breaks it off with him, it's her fault that he's a bum. Yes, that might have been the domino effect of him, faking it till he make it to get a degree and get a good, job, get a good wife and things like that. But even in the second half where she's like, oh, it's my fault, blah, 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 blah. It's like, how is it your fault? And why do you still have this dilemma or this anxiety about you where you just feel like you did him wrong? You did nothing wrong. It's all him. And that's the whole point of the consequences. Yes, there's something at the end where it talks about, maybe I shouldn't have done what I've done. But still, 90% of the movie, it was the whole, it was her fault. No, disagree. And yes, you might get, like I said, you might get that, the good conclusion at the end, but still, it's at a point where she should have stood up for herself way before the end of this movie, through in and throughout. So overall, Dragon, I think it's one of the better Indian movies of the year, probably top 3 for sure. Like I said, we're only in mid-February when I watched this, which review might be out a little bit later, but of course, that's when I watched it. I thought it was a fun movie. Even though the first act really dragged for me, the second half was such a better experience that it did bump this movie up significantly because of the good message and the ending. Like, the second half just blew the first half out of the water, in my opinion. So Dragon will receive a 3.5 out of 5 Futons, which equals that 70%. Let's see the critics' new scores gave this one. Critics, 2 of them, we have a positive and a positive. The audience scored 96% with over 50, no critic consensus. So there we go. And again, is it really Dragon or Return of the Dragon? It's really up to you. 96, 70. Chase Hawk here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of the things Bluetontopia, you Blue Tony and saying you watch from a great down. Can watch this tape tomorrow, week from a month, and a year from every single freaking one of you. Peace and love, and stay safe out there. And you know, if you have a college and a couple of degrees, good for you. But don't think you're smarter than someone with a high school degree, because it looks really shitty on you.